If you're not getting any clients on Upwork, then listen up, because I'm about to share 10 tips with you that helped me make over $200,000 on the platform. Number one is to research your competition. There are loads of freelancers making money on Upwork, and if you're not one of them, then you should be looking at the ones who are, because chances are that they're doing something that you're not. So I would start with going to the search bar in the top right corner of the home screen on Upwork, and then you click the drop down menu, and then you select talent, and then you type in whatever it is you are. In my case, it's copywriter. So I type that in and I hit enter, and then I'm going to see all the copywriters on Upwork. Of course, I'm not interested in looking at the bottom feeders, so I want to select for the top rated talent. I can click top rated plus here on the filter on the left hand side, and then I want to filter for hourly rate as well, because I want to look at the ones making bank. So in the hourly rate, we're going to filter all the way up so we see the people making $100 an hour or more. Now what you should do is have a look at their headline, have a look at their overview, go to their profiles, see what they're doing that you are not, and then you see if you can take some of the ideas and apply to your own profile, so you increase your chances of being found by clients and also standing out when you're sending proposals. Tip number two is to always focus on the client. When it comes to writing your profile and when you're writing proposals, you should always put the client front and center. The mistake a lot of freelancers make is that they only talk about themselves, how great they are, and how much experience they have. Clients don't care about that. Clients only care about their problems and whether or not you can solve them. So make sure that you hit on their pain points and how you can help them solve those problems when you write your overview and when you write proposals. Tip number three is to optimize for search. Now, Upwork, like pretty much every other online platform, also functions as a search engine, which means that you should include keywords in your profile. So if you're a copywriter like me, obviously you should include keywords like copywriting, but you might also include keywords that relate to the services you provide and the tools you use. So in my case, it would be landing page, it would be sales email, it would be web copy, it would be everything that copywriters work on that I can deliver to clients. But also we might talk about the tools we use. So in my case, it would be email clients like ActiveCampaign or MailChimp, or if I'm writing SEO copy, then it should be Surfer SEO or ClearScope or any other tool that you use in your work that clients might be looking on Upwork to see if they can find a freelancer who knows how to use that tool. And of course, if you specialize in a tool, you shouldn't just put that in your overview and all the other sections of your profile. You might want to stick it right up in your headline so people can see that you're an expert in this tool. Now, there is no guarantee you'll rank at the top of the search results just because you've peppered your profile with keywords, but it will increase your chances of ranking higher than your competitors when clients are searching for freelancers in your niche. Tip number four is to use advanced search when you look for jobs, because in my niche, which is copywriting, there's something like 10,000 jobs on any given day on Upwork. I'm not going to sit and sift through all those jobs every day, so that's why the advanced search comes in handy, because I can apply a bunch of filters, so I sort the wheat from the chaff, and I can only look at the most relevant jobs. So here you can see that I've filtered for a bunch of stuff. Obviously, I've filtered for my category, which is sales and marketing copy, but then I've also filtered for experience level. I'm not interested in entry-level jobs. I only want to look at intermediate or expert level. You can also filter for hourly rate or fixed price rate, but I tend not to do that because most clients don't know what a given project will end up costing, so I usually save that conversation for later. Now, if you don't want to apply for jobs that have a lot of competition on them, you can filter for the number of proposals here. So typically go for the ones that have less than 5, 10, or 15 proposals, and then you increase the chances of your proposal being seen and actually considered by the client. If you, like me, also want to work with clients that are serious, then you might want to filter for payment verified, so they've actually put a payment method on file so they can pay you for the work. And you might want to filter for the client history, so you're not dealing with newbies, so people who have at least hired one person on Upwork before, so they know how the system works. Then of course there's the client location. Now, not all clients have the same budget. Of course, people in India might not have the same amount of budget as people in the US, and because I'm interested in working with people who have the largest budget, I usually filter for the Anglosphere, so that would be all the countries that have English as the native language. All these filters are going to significantly cut down on the number of jobs that you see in any given search. So once you've applied all the filters, I would recommend that you save this search by clicking here, Save Search, and then when you go on the home page of Upwork, it will appear here as one of your saved searches that you can always shuffle through, so no matter what kind of job you're looking for, they're easily available. Speaking of which, tip number 5 is to apply for for jobs every day. Every day there are clients who are posting jobs in your niche on Upwork, so there's no reason why you shouldn't check for them every day. It doesn't have to be a huge time investment. Personally, I only spend around 10-15 minutes every morning looking for jobs on Upwork and applying to them, which is the time it takes for me to drink a cup of coffee. Tip number 5 is to focus on the 2 first sentences of your proposals when you apply to jobs, and also when you write the overview of your profile. And I'll show you why. If we go back to my competitor research here, you'll see that underneath their title and their skills, you will only see around 2 lines of text. And that means that's the only 2 lines of text that potential clients will see when they search for you in the talent database. Now, if I show you my client profile, you'll see that I've posted some jobs in the past, so I can show you what it actually looks like on the other side of the fence. If you're a client and freelancers apply to your job, you will see the exact same thing as you would see if you're searching for freelancers in the talent database, with the difference that instead of seeing the first 2 lines of their overview, you'll see the first 2 lines of their proposal, which means, again, you need to nail these 2 first lines of text because they're part of the only first impression you get to make on the client, whether they're searching for you in the talent database or they're sifting through proposals they've received for a job post. Tip number 7 is to keep learning new skills. Chances are you got into freelancing because you had 1 or 2 skills that you could sell. In my case, it was writing. I didn't know the faintest thing about SEO or copywriting, but I learned about it, and that meant I could apply to not only general writing jobs, but also specifically SEO writing jobs and sales copywriting jobs. So you start with your niche and then you gradually branch out, so you build on your skill stack and can apply to more jobs. And when you land a job, you can also upsell your clients on other services that are related to the initial service you provided them for that project. This also brings us to tip number 8, which is to create specialized profiles. As you can see, I have a general copywriting profile here on Upwork, but I also have 2 specialized profiles. One is for email copywriting and the other one is for LinkedIn copywriting. And that means when I come across an email or a LinkedIn related job, I can use these specialized profiles to apply to it. Why does that matter? It matters because imagine you're the client and you get 50 applicants. You're looking for someone who specializes in writing email copy, and 49 of the applicants are general copywriters, whereas the 50th applicant is an email copywriter. Who are you going to be more inclined to hire for the job? Obviously the specialist. But it's not just your headline that makes you stand out when you apply for jobs, it's also your overview you can customize, and it's also reviews from jobs that are specific to that niche that gets tied to that specialized profile. As you can see here, my general profile has a newsletter ghostwriter attached to it, whereas my LinkedIn copywriter profile has a LinkedIn content and graphics creator tied to it as the top review. So that makes it much more relevant for the clients when they look at your profile and decide whether or not to hire you for the job. That brings us to tip number 9, which is if you don't already have a star-studded profile like me, then you might want to ask your previous clients from outside of Upwork to give you a testimonial you can put in your Upwork profile to convince clients on Upwork that you're trustworthy and deliver good work. Now, personally, I don't have that because it wasn't a feature when I started using Upwork, and since then I've gotten a bunch of good reviews, so I don't really need to use it. But if you need to use it, it's right underneath your project catalog. There's a little box here that says testimonials, and you can just request a testimonial by clicking the button there, fill out the client's details like first, last name, business, email address, their LinkedIn profile, their title, and a message to the client, and Upwork will send a message to them asking for a testimonial that you can put in your profile. This brings us to the last tip, number 10. Once you've landed a job on Upwork and you've completed the job, it's very important you ask the client that they close the contract for you, because once they do, they're prompted to leave you a public review. And this is the most important part of your Upwork profile. It's by far more important than anything else you do in your profile. This is social proof. This is the first thing that potential clients are looking for when they're considering you as a candidate. They want to see, are you reliable? Do you deliver quality work? And have others worked with you and loved your service? Now, sometimes when you finish work with a client, they'll just simply disappear and ghost you. That is a problem, but that doesn't mean that you should just close the contract. Keep messaging them, follow up, ask them if they can please close the contract, if there's nothing else you can do for them, and if they need you in the future, they can always open up a new contract again. Because if you close the contract yourself, they will receive an email saying that the contract has ended, but it doesn't prompt them to go back on the platform and actually leave you a review. And that means you will end up with a bunch of reviews that looks like this: no feedback given, no feedback given, and that will ultimately look bad on you, because if you did a good job as a freelancer, then why wouldn't clients leave feedback? So that's it. Apply these 10 tips and add in a bit of patience and optimism and perseverance and consistency, and you will see results.